Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, and welcome back to the cough and cold that doesn't seem to go away. I had it before I went on holiday, then it went away, and then I've come back here and got it again. What is going on? Mind you, I've been phoning around people and everyone's got a cough and a splutter. I think it's what's going round. So I've had a look. I had a look this morning at the newspapers to try and find out exactly what is going on, and the papers, of course. Oh, a bit too much tonic in that. The papers are, oh, blimey, the papers are full of the story of this young black guy. We'll come to that in a second, but in the meantime, here's a slightly older black guy, the very funny Jerry Kay, that's released today on Ustream. What a great comedian this guy is. Let's have a quick look.
Friend of mine bought a brand new one-bedroom flat in East London, right? So it's about, I don't know, a quarter of this stage. It's tiny. I've been in bigger women, if I'm honest. But that's not a joke, it's a preference. Thanks very much, no.
Yes, it's the fantastic Jerry Kay. Check this guy out on Ustream. He is hysterical. Don't you worry about that.
Well, the best one, right? The best one's his sister, Kathy, right? Now, Kathy is fucking massive, right? Now, she stinks so bad, right? We call her Kathy the COVID test. Because we reckon if you're in the same room as her and you can't smell her, you've got COVID.
There you go. He is absolutely brilliant. And we're so looking forward to welcoming him back as well to our new Friday night live comedy here in the studio. So I'm actually on the stage of where we're going to be doing it. There's no one in the audience. It's like a Paul Daniels concert here at the moment. Rest his soul. Anyway, let's talk about this stuff that's going on and the armed police officer. Why is he named? That's obviously not his real name. Martin Blake, right? He's been cleared of the murder of the guy called Chris Kaba, who's in the pictures. He looks a happy, smiling young man who has lost his life to a police marksman. But it took a jury less than 3 hours to acquit him. Well, thank fuck. Common sense prevails. I don't think this policeman should have been charged in the first place. I remember when it happened, a lot of police guys were saying with the guns, you know, the armed policemen, well, we're not going to have guns now. That's it. If we can't make our own decisions to shoot people when we think our life is in danger, then we're not going to do it anyway. And it's now been revealed that Chris Kaba was a gang member. You know, he'd done time for firearms offences. He was driving a car that was linked to a shooting, you know, the previous night. Apparently, I mean, what hasn't he done, this guy? According to the newspapers, he beat up his pregnant girlfriend. And when he was told to stop, you know, in the car by armed police officers, he tried to ram the car into them. So this copper made the split-second decision to shoot because he thought his life and the lives of his colleagues were under threat. Well, you know, you would. What do you do? If you pull that gun out, you're going to, you know, shoot someone, aren't you? Anyway, so that policeman has been acquitted. And the response to his acquittal, you can imagine the horrible little mayor, Sadiq Khan, as well as some Labour MPs, well, you know, true to form. He said that this is the mayor, we have to respect the decision of the jury, but still sent his condolences to the family of the dead guy. Well, he's entitled to do that. You know, it's someone's son, isn't it, really? I mean, his life's gone. This policeman's life is devastated. But it's Mayor Khan. It's that Mayor Khan. You can't help feeling that he wanted that copper to be guilty. He's clearly fucking devastated that he was let off. I suppose he wanted it to be like a George Floyd moment, you know. The community is apparently really pissed off now the officer has been acquitted and said they'll fight for justice. What does this mean? More riots? I hope there's not going to be any more riots, come on. Well, and if there is riots, those taken to the streets, I hope they'll be jailed as quickly as the white working class folk in Southampton or Southport, wherever it fucking was. Or will different rules apply? Of course they will. Do you know what gets my goat is the fact that Diane Abbott and Jeremy Corbyn are using the death of this guy for political gains. So you know, even now, even now, the judge has lifted the restrictions on reporting the criminal past of Mr. Kaba. Yes, now so you can actually look at what this guy has done. I suppose he had to do that. He had to stop that because you can't judge someone on that crime or that thing. You know, it had to be related to what happened at that moment. Well, the judge has also now, this is what gets me, he has banned anyone from showing a picture of the police officer or revealing his address. Why the fuck would anyone want to do that? Why the fuck would anyone want to be an armed police officer now? When the government and the Crown Prosecution Service are so happy to fuck you over. So, just a quick one to say, the criminal, was it CPS? Criminal Prosecution Service. So the CPS brought a murder charge against Martin Blake very quickly when he was just doing the job he was meant to do. I don't say that his job was meant to murder people, but he's a firearms officer, you know. But they, you know, they're so quick to you know, charge a police officer, but they still haven't brought those guys, them Pakistani men who beat the shit out of police officers in Manchester Airport. Why is that? We've all seen the video. Are the CPS just hoping that we'll forget? Well, we don't forget. What else is going on? There's a bird who threw milkshake at Nigel Farage. She's pleaded guilty to assault. Get out. Let's see what her sentence is. You know, if there's any justice, she would get 3 years inside to match the people who are currently in prison for writing nasty words on Twitter. We can all see this two-tier system playing out, can't we? You know, it's a fucking joke. It's an absolute joke. The same time, hang on, a 61-year-old grandfather with no previous convictions who was jailed for taking part in the Southport riots has killed himself in prison. Killed himself. Peter Lynch was jailed for 2 years for going along to the riots with a placard calling the system corrupt, and he shouted at police. He didn't take part in any violence. I mean, come on, what the fuck has this country come to when we've got violent prisoners, right, being let out by this government, killers, paedophiles being released, and people like this other guy with a placard are in jail and driven to take their own lives. I mean, it's a joke, isn't it? He was a political prisoner used as his example by this fucking awful government. Okay. I'm going to go over to Ustream now and hear the rest of this bullshit that's going on. Did you know the SNP have announced 24 genders? Fucking hell, I can't wait to talk about them. So come on, join me. Go to ustream.com and I'll croak me way through this next episode for another 25 minutes. You can get a chance to see my brand new show here on Ustream before anybody else. Yes, my latest concert up in Great Yarmouth. The greatest hits of Jim Davidson in the Swimming Against the Tide tour. There's been no mention of a disabled games. Now, I wonder why that is. Have they all got better?